Failure is not the end, it's the beginning. Too many people see failure as the final chapter, the closing of the book, the moment when the story is over. But real champions know failure is only the first page of greatness. It is not the period. It is the comma. It doesn't signal your defeat. It signals your chance to rise. Every great victory, every legend, every champion has stood face to face with failure, and instead of running from it, they embraced it. Because failure is not a dead end. It's the doorway to transformation. When you fail, you are given a gift. Yes, a gift. The gift of truth. Failure tells you exactly where you are, what you lack, what you need to sharpen. It's life's way of stripping away the illusion and showing you the raw reality. And that reality is the foundation upon which confidence and greatness are built. If you never fail, you never learn. If you never stumble, you never grow. If you never fall, you never discover the strength to rise. The problem is, most people treat failure like poison. They avoid it, they fear it, they run from it. But in doing so, they avoid the very thing that could set them free. Failure is not poison, it's fuel. It's the fire that burns away weakness, ego, and complacency. It leaves behind hunger, discipline, and resilience. Every time you fall, you gain another scar, another lesson, another tool to help you climb higher. Think of it this way. When you first start training, your body hurts, your lungs burn, your muscles ache. That pain is proof that you are growing. Failure works the same way. It hurts, it stings, it bruises your pride. But beneath that pain, growth is happening. You are being shaped into something stronger, sharper, tougher. Failure isn't your enemy, it's your trainer. And the more you learn to embrace it, the more unstoppable you become. And here's the secret: failure is universal. Everyone faces it. No one escapes it. The only difference between those who win and those who quit is how they see it. The weak see failure as a wall and stop. The strong see failure as a hurdle and leap. The weak see failure as proof they can. The strong see failure as proof they must. It's all in the mindset. And once you flip that switch, once you see failure as the beginning, not the end, you unlock a power most people will never touch. Because the truth is, the greatest victories are born out of the darkest defeats. You can't taste the sweetness of success unless you've swallowed the bitterness of failure. You can't value the win unless you've felt the pain of the loss. And when you rise out of failure, when you come back stronger, the victory means more, not just to the crowd, but to you. Because you know what it cost. You know what you endured. You know that you earned it. So don't fear failure. Don't curse it. Don't avoid it. Stand face. To face with it. Learn from it. Embrace it. Because failure is not where your story ends. It's where your story begins. Every fall is a new chance to rise. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Every failure is an invitation to greatness. The beginning of victory is failure. The beginning of strength is weakness. The beginning of courage is fear. And the beginning of your greatest self is the moment you stop running from failure and start rising through it. Defeat does not define you. Too many people let one loss, one setback, one failure carve their identity. They start believing that because they fell once, they will always fall. They let defeat become their label, their shadow, their cage. But defeat is never who you are. It's only what happened to you in a moment of time. What defines you is not the fall. What defines you is whether you choose to stay down or rise again. Every fighter, every warrior, every dreamer will face defeat. It's not a question of SF5. It's a question of Evelyn, when you will get knocked down. You will face moments where everything you worked for seems to slip through your fingers. You will be humbled, broken, humiliated. But that's not the end. That's the test. The world is watching not to see if you fall. They know you will. They're watching to see if you get back up. Defeat is temporary. The pain is temporary. The embarrassment is temporary. But giving up, that's permanent. The moment you decide that defeat defines you, you hand over your power. You let the crowd write your story instead of picking up the pen yourself. And that is the greatest mistake anyone can make. You were not born to be defined by a loss. You were born to rise above it. Understand this: defeat is part of the process of victory. Nobody climbs to the top without stumbling on the way. Every champion you admire has tasted defeat. The difference is they refused to let it define them. They turned it into motivation. They used it as fuel. They looked at the loss, studied it, learned from it, and came back sharper, hungrier, stronger. That is the real mark of greatness. Not being flawless, but being relentless. When you let defeat define you, you shrink. You start living smaller. You stop taking risks. You play it safe. But when you rise after defeat, you grow. You discover courage you didn't know you had. You find strength you never thought possible. You create a new version of yourself, tougher, wiser, more dangerous. That's the power of refusing to be defined by loss. And let me tell you something, people will always try to define you by your defeats. They'll point to the times you failed. They'll whisper about the times you came up short. They'll remind you of the mistakes, the falls, the disappointments. But you don't live for their definition. You don't live for their labels. You live for your purpose, your vision, your fight. And the only definition that matters is the one you give yourself. Defeat can shape you, but it does not define you. It can bruise your pride, but it cannot break your spirit unless you allow it. It can slow you down, but it cannot stop you if you keep moving forward. The power is in your hands. The choice is yours. Do you wear defeat like a chain, or do you use it as a stepping stone to victory? So when you fall, when you lose, when you taste defeat, don't let it mark your life. Don't let it stick to your name. Stand tall, rise up, and declare, this is not who I am, this is only where I've been. And I'm not done yet, because defeat does not define you. Your refusal to quit does. Your decision to rise does. Your will to fight again does. And when you choose to rise, when you choose to fight again, defeat becomes nothing more than a chapter in the story of your victory. Pain is a teacher, not a curse. Most people run from it. They think pain is punishment, something cruel, something unfair. They curse it, hide from it, and do everything they can to avoid it. But those who understand greatness know the truth. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your instructor. It teaches lessons no comfort ever could. It shows you what you are made of. It molds you, sharpens you, and prepares you for battles bigger than yourself. Think about it. When you step into the fire of pain, you are being refined. Just like iron must be heated and hammered to become steel, you must endure struggle to become unbreakable. Comfort never made anyone strong. Ease never made anyone fearless. It is the sting of pain, the ache in your muscles, the weight on your shoulders, the heartbreak in your chest that transforms you. Pain is the classroom where champions are made. Every drop of sweat, every burning breath, every moment when your body screams, I can't go on, that's the teacher talking. That's the lesson being delivered. Pain tells you where your limits are and then dares you to push past them. Without pain, you never grow. Without struggle, you never evolve. Without discomfort, you remain the same. And staying the same is the real curse. Pain is the only force that pulls you out of the ordinary and into the extraordinary. Most people misunderstand pain because they think it's there to break them. But the truth is, pain is there to reveal them. It strips away excuses, exposes weakness, and shows you exactly who you are when nothing is easy. Anyone can smile when life is kind. Anyone can look confident when things are going their way. But when pain comes, when life presses you to the edge, that's when your true character is revealed. Pain asks, are you ready to quit or are you ready to fight? And here's the beautiful thing, pain never lasts. The soreness fades, the bruises heal, the heartbreak mends, but the lessons remain forever. Pain gives you wisdom, strength, and resilience that comfort could never teach. It makes you fearless because once you've endured it, you realize you can endure again. That is power. That is confidence. That is freedom. So don't run from pain. Embrace it. Don't see it as a curse. See it as the price of greatness. The moments that hurt the most often become the memories you cherish the most because they remind you of how far you've come. They remind you of the nights you could have quit but didn't. They remind you of the battles you thought you'd lose but won. Pain is not there to crush you. It is there to crown you. And when you accept pain as your teacher, you stop fearing it. You start using it. You start chasing it. Because you know that every ounce of pain is shaping you into the warrior you were meant to be. Every round you fight, every fall you survive, every scar you earn, it all becomes part of your strength. So the next time pain knocks on your door, don't curse it. Welcome it. Learn from it. Grow through it. Because pain is not your curse, it is your classroom. And when you graduate from that classroom, when you rise from that fire, you will be unshakable, unstoppable, undeniable. Pain is not the end, it is the beginning of greatness. Persistence beats perfection. Too many people waste their lives chasing an illusion of flawlessness. They wait until everything is lined up, until every move is certain, until every step is safe before they begin. They want the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect version of themselves before they take action. But perfection doesn't win fights. Perfection doesn't win dreams. Persistence does. The one who refuses to quit, even when everything is messy, even when mistakes are made, even when the world doubts them, that's the one who rises to victory. Perfection is a cage. It traps you in hesitation. It convinces you that if you can't do it perfectly, you shouldn't do it at all. But persistence is freedom. It tells you to take the shot, to step forward, to keep moving no matter how many times you stumble. Perfection is about image. Persistence is about progress. And progress, not perfection, is what turns an underdog into a champion. Every great achievement in history was built on persistence. Not on flawless execution, but on relentless repetition. Every punch thrown, every mile run, every lesson learned was filled with errors, with slips, with failures. But persistence transformed those failures into mastery. The fighter who throws 1,000 imperfect punches becomes the one who lands the perfect knockout when it matters most. The dreamer who takes 1,000 imperfect steps ends up miles ahead of the one who never started waiting for perfection. Persistence is the will to keep moving when your body is tired, when your spirit is bruised, when your mind is screaming to quit. It's the decision to return tomorrow and the next day and the day after that, no matter how ugly yesterday looked. It doesn't matter if you were slow, if you were sloppy, if you fell short. What matters is that you stayed in the fight. Because persistence compounds. Every small effort adds up. Every step forward, no matter how shaky, builds momentum. And momentum is stronger than perfection. You see, perfection is a fantasy. No one is flawless. No fight is clean. No victory comes without scars. The world doesn't remember those who waited until they were perfect. It remembers those who kept showing up, kept swinging, kept grinding when everything seemed lost. Persistence turns weakness into strength. Persistence turns failure into victory. Persistence turns ordinary people into legends. When you focus on perfection, you fear mistakes. But when you live with persistence, you welcome them. Because you know each mistake is a lesson. Each stumble is a stepping stone. Each setback is a chance to grow. Persistence is about trusting the process, trusting that if you refuse to quit, the finish line will appear even if you can't see it yet. So don't aim for perfection. Aim for persistence. Don't wait for the perfect time, make time. Don't wait to feel ready, get ready by doing. Don't quit because it's messy. Win because you kept going through the mess. Champions are not crowned for being flawless. They are crowned for being relentless. Persistence beats perfection every single time. Because perfection may look good for a moment, but persistence endures forever. It is persistence that keeps you standing when others sit down. It is persistence that pushes you through when others give up. It is persistence that transforms failure into triumph. And in the end, when the dust settles, no one will care if you were perfect. They will only remember that you never quit. The ground builds warriors. People think victory is born on the podium under the lights in the roar of the crowd. But the truth is, victory is born in the dirt, in the fall, in the place where your back hits the canvas and the air is knocked out of your chest. The ground is where you learn what kind of fighter you really are. Anybody can look strong when they're standing tall. Anybody can smile when they're winning. But only the ones who hit the ground taste the pain and choose to rise again. Only they are forged into warriors. When you fall, the ground strips away the illusions. It doesn't care about your reputation. It doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care how loud you talked or how much people believed in you. The ground asks one simple question: will you stay down or will you rise? That is the test. That is the defining moment of every fighter, every dreamer, every champion. The ground humbles you. It reminds you that no one is untouchable, that failure is real, that life hits hard. But humility is not weakness. It's the starting point of strength. Because once you've been knocked down, once you've seen rock bottom, you stop fearing it. You know the taste, you felt the weight, and you've survived it. That knowledge makes you dangerous. That resilience makes you unstoppable. Every scar you carry, every bruise you've earned, every moment you've lain flat on the ground wondering if you could get back up, that's not shame. That's your training. That's the fire shaping your steel. The ground is not your grave. It's your classroom. It teaches you patience, endurance, courage. It teaches you that the fight isn't about never falling. It's about never staying down. People will judge you when you fall. They'll laugh, they'll point, they'll say it's over. But warriors don't listen to the crowd. Warriors listen to their own heartbeat pounding louder than the doubt. Warriors feel the ground beneath them and say, this is not the end. This is my beginning. Every time you rise, you take a piece of that ground with you, a reminder that you are stronger than any fall. Understand this, the ground is where legends are born, not in the easy wins, not in the smooth paths, but in the falls that test your soul. Every great fighter, every great achiever, every great leader has been there, face down, broken, beaten, but they chose to rise. They chose to turn the ground into their foundation, not their prison. And the beauty of the ground is this: once you've risen from it, nothing can scare you. You stop fearing failure because you know you can handle it. You stop fearing loss because you've lived through it. You stop fearing pain because you've grown stronger from it. The ground gives you confidence no victory can. Victory makes you proud, but the ground makes you powerful. So the next time life knocks you flat, don't curse the ground. Thank it, because it's building you into something greater. It's showing you the truth. That resilience beats talent. That grit beats glory. That rising beats falling every single time. The ground doesn't destroy warriors, it builds them. And when you stand tall again, when you rise with the dust still on your skin and the fire still in your eyes, the world will know you are not just a fighter. You are a warrior, built, tested, and proven by the ground. True victory comes from refusal to surrender. Too many people confuse winning with trophies, medals, or applause. They think victory is only measured by the scoreboard, by who stands tall at the end of the fight. But real victory is deeper than that. Real victory is when life throws its hardest punches, when your body screams to quit, when the odds are stacked against you, and still you refuse to give in. That is the victory no one can take away, the kind that lasts long after the spotlight fades. Surrender is the only true defeat. You can lose a round, you can lose a match, you can even lose everything you thought you had. But as long as you refuse to surrender, as long as you keep fighting, you are never beaten. The one who refuses to quit carries a power greater than talent, greater than luck, greater than circumstance. That power is unbreakable will. And it's willpower, not perfect conditions, that shapes destiny. Think about it. How many times in life are you tempted to give up? When things get heavy, when progress feels slow, when the struggle seems endless, it's easy to surrender. That's the path most people take. But champions walk a different road. They fight one more round. They take one more step. They push through one more day. Because they know the truth. Victory belongs to the one who endures the longest, not the one who shines the quickest. Refusing to surrender does not mean you won't fall. It means every time you fall, you rise again. It means every time the world tells you, enough, you say, not yet. It means that no matter how dark the night, you keep walking until the sun comes up. That persistence, that grit, that refusal to bow down, that is where true victory lies. And let's be clear, victory without surrender isn't just about fights in the ring or battles in life. It's about your mindset. It's about choosing not to surrender to fear, to doubt, to weakness. It's about holding your ground when voices inside and outside of you scream that you can't do it. It's about telling yourself, I will not break, I will not fold, I will not quit. That is strength. That is victory. Even when you don't win on paper, you win in spirit. Because every time you refuse to surrender, you grow stronger. Every time you hold the line, you gain respect from yourself first and eventually from the world. And that kind of respect cannot be bought, cannot be faked, cannot be stolen. It is earned in the fires of persistence. True victory is not the crown on your head, it's the fight in your heart. It's the courage to stand when standing hurts. It's the decision to move forward when standing still would be easier. It's the discipline to keep working when no one is watching. That victory is invisible at first, but it builds you into something unstoppable. So remember this: surrender is the only true loss. As long as you refuse to give in, you are already victorious. The scoreboard might not show it today. The crowd might not cheer for it right now. But when the dust settles, when history is written, the ones remembered as true champions are not the ones who had it easy. They are the ones who refused to surrender. That is the essence of real victory, not perfection, not comfort, not applause, but the relentless spirit that cannot be broken. True victory comes from refusal to surrender, because the fighter who never quits can never truly be defeated.